Welcome. The River of Wellbeing is the place of balance between alert and calm. It is where we learn most easily and where we find most enjoyment and contentment with our friends. On either side of the river, however, are the banks of chaos and rigidity. We find ourselves on the bank of chaos when we feel angry, anxious, or distressed. It is difficult to think clearly. On the bank of rigidity, we feel tired, slowed down, and withdrawn. We may feel sad and switched off from others. The wider the river, the less likely you will hit the riverbanks. So I will give you some gifts that will help the river to widen. Sleep balm. Sleep is essential for a healthy mind and body. Oars. These will help you steer your boat and give you exercise. Invisible rope. This will help you to connect with other canoeists. Social connection is vital. A mini magical food tree. This can grow nutritious food. Eating well is so important. First aid box. To attend to any physical pain or illness. Binoculars. These will help you to focus. Focus time helps our brains build strength. Magic hobby box. This contains all of your interests, things you like to do for fun or to relax. Journal. Use this journal to record what you learned during your journey. This can help you reflect and be more self-aware of your thoughts, emotions, and body sensations. Choose your journal. Along the river there will be letters, which you'll need to collect. The letters will spell out a word. Each letter is a particular skill which will be explained to you. The word will help you to remember the skills. Now my companion will show you to your canoe.
Follow me, friend. Along your journey, you can collect jewels as well as the letters. Each jewel will represent one of the 5 main senses. There will be an opportunity when you collect a jewel to pay particular attention to the soothing capacity of that sense. The first jewel is at the start point. This is the jewel of touch.
The jewel of touch. As you board your canoe, notice your body, where it makes contact with your seat. Be aware of your feet in contact with the floor. Notice where your clothing touches your skin. Consider what textures or forms of touch are soothing to you. You can write them down in your journal. Soon after you begin your journey, you notice the first letter, A. A is for activities. You open your magic hobby box and find any activities that are uplifting and any activities that are calming. What would you choose? You could write a list of these in your journal. You notice your friend's canoe is stuck, so you use your invisible rope to pull them back into the River of Wellbeing. This is an example of the next letter, C. C is for contributes. It can sometimes help when we're struggling to turn our attention into helping someone else. Examples might include messaging a friend, stroking a pet, or making someone a drink. The next letter you find is another C. C is for comparison. Here you can compare to a previous time when you coped with a similar problem. How did you do it? It can also be useful to compare to others who also struggle in this way, or even people whose situation is worse. This can help us not feel alone and to put the struggle into perspective. A little later you see the next letter, E. E is for emotions. This skill is about creating a different emotion to the one that you feel. Look into your magical hobby box again and find things that can create a different emotion, such as music, an inspiring film or quote, a joke book, funny cat videos, etc. Then the letter P. P is for pushing away. This is a short-term strategy for blocking unpleasant thoughts and feelings. It cannot be the only skill used though. It is like using the oar to push away from the riverbanks. It is very tiring. And if this is done too often, the oar becomes worn. Also, at some point, you will need to sleep, and you cannot use your oar then. Next, you find the letter T. T is for thoughts. This skill requires you to replace unpleasant thoughts with other thoughts, such as calculations, lyrics from a song, an inspiring quote, a pleasant or funny memory, or a word puzzle. You can also practice watching thoughts pass by, like clouds in the sky or leaves on the street. Shortly before your rest point, you see the letter S. S is for sensations. We can change our emotions through changing bodily sensations. One way is through the use of water, such as soaking in a warm bath or splashing cold water onto our face. Another way of changing the bodily sensations is through stretching, exercise, dancing, or massage. Eventually you reach your rest point. You gather all of the letters which spells the word accepts. You can write this into your journal. On the jetty, friends can also join, tying their canoes with their own invisible ropes. You notice on the jetty is another jewel. This is the jewel of sound. What are the sounds that would be heard by the river? What sounds do you find pleasant? Music, birdsong, rainfall, waves of the sea. Notice the sounds in your environment right now. What do you hear? Notice the volume and tone of sounds and the spaces between sound.
Congratulations on getting this far. The next part of the journey may be trickier. There are some strong currents and floating debris to overcome. Please let me see the letters you've collected. As you have found the words and learnt the skills, your canoe and oars will be upgraded. However, hitting the riverbanks at times is inevitable. Most of the time your canoe will free itself quite quickly, but other times you may be stuck for longer. This is particularly true if your canoe gets entwined with overhanging brambles. At these times, you can use the word brambles to help you return to the River of Wellbeing.
Brambles. Breathing, rhythm, and moving body lightens emotions and use senses.
Here are 2 breathing practice tips. 1. Breathe in through your nose for a count of 7. And out through your mouth for a count of 11. If you prefer, you can breathe in for 3 and out for 5. 2. Expand the belly as you breathe in, whilst at the same time wiggling the toes. And allow the belly to flatten as you breathe out. Good luck.
You continue your journey in a new, better equipped canoe. It is not long before you see the next letter, I. I is for imagination. You could imagine a peaceful or uplifting place you've visited, or create something in your imagination. What would it look like? How does this place make you feel? You also notice another jewel. The jewel of sight. What might be the things you would see on this journey? What images do you find soothing? What images do you find uplifting? Approaching a mountain, you spot the letter M. M is for meaning. Sometimes when we face difficulty, we can find some hidden benefit, a silver lining. This might be that some good came of it, or you learned from your mistake, or someone else's mistake. Or perhaps you discovered an inner strength, or a new support. Can you think of an example? The next letter is P. P is for purpose. We're more likely to tolerate difficult emotions if what we are doing feels purposeful. For example, would you be willing to feel anxious if it meant you would help out a friend who was in trouble? You may ask yourself, what qualities are important to me? Kindness, creativity, health, courage, compassion, justice, helpfulness, fun, humour, self-care, etc. are some examples of values. As you make your way through the woodland, you notice the letter R. R is for relaxation. There are various types of relaxation, such as tense and release relaxation, where you tense different muscles as you breathe in and allow them to loosen as you breathe out. If you prefer, you can just imagine parts of the body softening with the out-breath. The water starts to get choppy when you see the letter O. O is for one thing at a time. Often when things get tricky, we try to do too many things at once. For example, when we have exams or managing changes. Writing a to-do list can help to focus on one thing at a time. It can feel good to tick off the tasks achieved. You re-enter the woodland and spot the fourth jewel, the jewel of smell. What smells might you notice in the woodland? What smells are pleasant in everyday life? Examples are fresh baked bread or cakes, freshly cut grass, hot chocolate, coffee, perfume, flowers, and clean bedding. Which ones are soothing and which ones are uplifting? As you were told, at some point you will hit the riverbank. Your canoe is stuck, and so you take out your journal to remember the word. Brambles. Breathing, rhythm and moving body lightens emotions and new senses. Five-finger breathing uses the breath, movement of the fingers, rhythm, moving up and down, and the senses of touch and sight. you free yourself from the riverbank and return to the River of Wellbeing, you notice the letter V. V is for vacation. Sometimes it can be helpful to take time out, away from other people. This can give a sense of space, which can help to feel calmer. Some people might listen to some music, draw or colour, or just spend some downtime doing nothing. Like being in a canoe, balance is important here. Too much time alone isn't usually helpful. As we come toward the end of your journey, you find the letter E. E is for encouragement. We all have an inner bully or critic that likes to put us down and says we're not good enough. It points out mistakes and faults. We also have an inner superhero or compassionate voice. This voice is supportive and encouraging in what it says and the way it is said. In times of struggle, you could say to yourself, what would I say to a friend who's feeling like this? As you reach your destination, your compassionate voice thanks you for your time and effort. You notice the fifth jewel, the jewel of taste. The jewel of taste. What are your favourite drinks or food? How would you describe the taste? Sweet, spicy, salty, refreshing, soothing. Eating and drinking very slowly and focusing on the changing tastes and textures can help to savour and appreciate what we consume.
Greetings and congratulations. Please tell me the second word you found. Well done. You have collected all the skills. You no longer need a canoe. The River of Wellbeing is within you. You can access your natural capacity for breathing, rhythm, movement, and use of your senses at any time. Keep practicing the skills. Refer to your journal when you need reminding. Be kind to yourself and to others.